Hey, this is Fly from ChiTownRocks.com. I'm here with PHOSPHENE.
Yes.
From Chicago, Illinois. Let's start at the beginning. When and how did you guys begin?
Okay, so they actually play together. Joey and Andrew played together in a band prior to PHOSPHENE. I actually met Andrew through his sister and I went to college. So we ended up, I was in a separate band at the time, and we played some shows together, their band and my band. And we got along real well. Our bands both kind of started to fall apart as things happened in Chicago, and we decided, why don't we leave our bands and start our own band, because we all knew we were serious and we all got along really well. So I called Andrew, Andrew called Joey. We started writing together, which was great, but we didn't have a bass. So Joey kept telling us, like, I have a bass for you guys, don't worry about it, I got a bass, my brother's coming, like, he's just graduated from college and he'll be home soon, just wait, and we're like, okay, Joey, whatever. So we kept practicing, and finally he did graduate, and he brought him over, like, right as he came home, to jam, is what he told him. He didn't tell him it was really his audition. And immediately he started playing, and we all loved him. He got into the song right away.
Did you pick it up real easy?
Oh yeah.
The songs? Yeah.
We only had 2 songs then.
Oh, okay.
So he came in and go ahead.
I mean, I've been playing with my brother since, we both got our instruments at the same time. It was Christmas. Yeah. I was 12, he was 14. He got a guitar, I got a bass. Been doing it ever since.
Wow. Okay, tell me about your first release, which is due out in what, January 2014?
Yes.
Okay, why don't we talk about that a little bit?
Any last words? No?
That's the title.
The title is Any Last Words. It is our EP. Basically, it's songs that we decided not to do. Actually, it's not going to be an EP, it's going to be our CD, we decided.
Okay.
Instead of doing a bunch of separate EPs, yeah.
Okay.
What we did was we put each of our songs out as singles. We kind of did it a different way. We got told by a couple different people that was like the way to do it, was to not put out all your songs at once and bombard people, was to keep it going, put a single at a time, let them kind of absorb it. So we've been doing that all year. We have 4 more that we haven't released yet, so those will be the new ones that they'll hear on the CD, along with the other songs that we wrote. So it's one big 10-song CD. And it's called Any Last Words. A lot of people ask us why we have tape on our mouths and all our pictures. That is why. It's supposed to be like Any Last Words, like as if, you know,
okay,
somebody's got you captured.
Yeah, I was going through, your bio and all that stuff, so I read the first single was going to be Break the Silence?
Yes, that was the first one we released.
So you released that. What's the meaning behind it, and why did you choose that, to release that as your first single from the album?
I guess I'll start this and let you guys kind of give your own on what it meant to you. What it meant to me lyrically, because obviously I'm the vocalist, is Break the Silence is about knowing that things are going on and just sitting there and letting it happen. And the point of the song and the chorus is to say, like, open your eyes, see what's going on, like the poverty, people not having jobs, like it's kind of to bring back that spirit of let's help each other. Like raise up your voice and break the silence. If someone's getting, robbed or hurt, like speak up, like say something, do whatever you can to help society. Right. So that's the meaning behind it.
I think it sounds the most like us. Like that's our sound. The first one.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like that was our first, like when we came together as our band, like that was the first one we started developing and stuff. So
that
it
was
just
the initial groove.
Exactly. So it just automatically had that natural drive to it. So it's like it quickly became like the favorite. Like let's get this one really good.
Okay. So then you decided that would be the first one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right. Where did you guys actually record the album, and who produced it?
Talk about Eric? Eric is who we went with. Eric is somebody we stuck with for a long time. He is the owner of Eclipse Studios. It's all the way in Bloomington.
Normal?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So it is a drive.
Right.
It's going to be a drive. Actually, we're going back there this weekend to finish the CD. So it is a drive. We stay out there for a couple nights and kind of make it a whole weekend.
So who is it, Eric?
Nelson. Eric Nelson.
Eric Nelson, okay. And what studio was that again?
Eclipse Studios.
Eclipse Studio in
He basically is our sound engineer. He's kind of our producer. It's a mix between him and us. We kind of tell him, like for me, I tell him I like this harmony, try this, and then he'll be like, yeah, maybe we should do it this way. So we kind of work with it. Same with, I think all the instruments, he kind of puts input. He's a really awesome guy. He's really well-rounded in music, so he can tell a guitarist how to play. He can pick up a guitar and show. He can show a bass. He can even play the drums. You know what I mean? He's very, very well-versed.
That's good. Are you guys on a label, or are you putting this album out on your own?
We're doing it on our own.
Doing it on your own. It seems to be the thing these days. I mean, we were just talking earlier about other local acts that are pretty much putting their own time and money into the album, and you know,
absolutely. I think honestly,
distributing it by themselves and, and touring and stuff like that.
I feel like it's very different from Nirvana and like Smashing Pumpkins' time when it was like trying to get signed and there was labels signing people and it was kind of working that way. I feel like nowadays, especially, I think a lot of it has to do with social media and
technology
and just songs being able to be released on the internet. I feel like people take that as a bad thing, and to us, we love it because we're very proactive. Like, let's do this. So we're on the internet instead of having the label telling us these are the venues to play. We're contacting 1,000 different venues.
There's so much information out there nowadays. You know, this leads into one of my questions. How has the social media, you know, such as like Reverb Nation and Facebook, how has it helped your band?
Reverb, I love you, Reverb. That is my thing to Reverb. They are awesome. I feel like Reverb, and this is a little secret for everybody, Reverb has way more to help bands than people even know. I mean, it comes from so many different levels. They have press kits that you can send out to venues, to tours. You can meet other musicians in other states and hook up on swap shows, which is something we've been working on. There's advertising you can do through them that goes all over the internet. You can actually, something that we found out which we loved is it's called crowd review, and basically what it is you send them your song and they send it into like a bunch of different viewers or listeners.
I think that's what we did, right?
It's really cool. It's a bunch of listeners and you pick how many, so it's either like 20, 50, or 200, and they listen to your song.
You take their constructive criticism and all of that.
And some of them pan you. And some of them say like exactly what you feel, like exactly what you hoped people would get from your music. You read them say it, like I swear I had tears in my eyes, because it was like, it's really cool because each person gives a review, so you literally get 50 reviews, and then you get the overall, like they project it, it's 9 pages long, it's awesome.
Also, isn't it like unbiased, the fact that they don't give
people
you any
that don't actually know you?
Well, they don't give you any background information on the band, they don't give you a photo, they just give you the song. And they want you to make
and they judge, they make their judgment by that.
So that's real cool.
Okay, Joey, like I said, I did my research and you know, the bio and all that. Tell me about jamming with Ryan of Story of the Year at Vans Warped Tour 2013. How did that come about? And you know, was that cool? And give me your insight on that.
That was definitely like one of those moments. I mean, I grew up listening to those guys, so it's like, you know, wow, I'm actually sitting here jamming with the guy that I looked up to. So it was one of those moments for me that I'm, you know, always going to remember. And we were there actually in the tent all day. She was, you know, there working her magic, talking to, well, she was, you know, talking to who she needed to talk to, you know, so we could get it set up. But I mean, yeah, it was, you know, he's an awesome guy. He's real cool, you know.
Were you guys, were you just jamming? Were you showing him some of your stuff? Was he showing you some of?
Yeah, it was kind of. We were just kind of playing. Well, like the thing was, it was like a lesson type thing, you know, and it actually turned into like just a jam session between me and him.
There was another guy there who ended up just sitting out of the lesson because those two were just jamming the entire time.
And I turned to him and I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. I'm like, I feel bad. I'm like, and he's like, no, I'm having fun watching you guys.
Well, that's cool.
So no, yeah, it was definitely like an awesome moment.
He also played with a couple other people that day too, which was pretty cool. Like Ryan, you played with the guy from
Silverstein.
Oh Sleepers.
Oh Sleeper, yeah.
I don't know that.
A couple guitarists, yeah. It was really cool. It was.
So I think I was actually at that show. That was this summer, right?
Yeah, it's a new thing they did. I really hope they do it next year. Yeah, if you don't go to Vans, because I know Vans has changed and there's not a whole bunch of like crazy cool bands anymore. No offense to all the bands that are on it, because we want to be on it. We love Warped Tour. But the point is that like a lot of people have started turning away from Warped Tour because it's to a younger crowd. And this new thing that they do, it's so cool. What they do is they take, I mean, they had big acts there still, and those big acts would, since they only play like one show, they would come into the tent and you can pick who you want to have a lesson with.
Right.
And basically you paid to speak one-on-one. They had drummers there, they had singers there, and you just kind of...
And they got the gear set up?
Yeah, they had some gear and you just talk to them, and yeah, it was really cool.
That's kind of cool, actually.
It was awesome, man. It was awesome.
Let's talk about your gear. I know we were talking earlier. Do you guys have any sponsorships, or is it all on your own?
No, it's pretty much all on our own.
Why don't you explain, because your set seems...
specific.
Small. So why don't you fill us in on your kit a little bit?
You know, I always bounce around. You know, everybody wants to try something new. You try different sets of drums. But when I came down to it, if you can't do it on 4, you really don't need any more.
Okay.
I like that. As I got older, I just started focusing more on becoming more of a technical drummer. So as my practices went on, I just figured, let me work on the 4-piece, and when I think I'm happy with that and I'm about as technical as I could get, well, then we'll start. Then we'll start easy. We'll go up to 5 and stuff like that. And sometimes on most of the professional drummers that I look up to, you kind of see them. Most of them start with 4 or 5, and when the endorsements do come,
right,
and you want to make them happy too, and you want to purchase, and you see their kids slowly get bigger and bigger. But I think you got to start with the foundation, just like how we're doing with the band. There's some bands that'll go out there and that'll just start putting out the music and putting out and playing, and not to say that that's wrong, but the way we're trying it is starting with the foundation. Start with the music, get our sound, and then try and just move up, like how we're gonna do in January, and just bring it out, and here it is.
Right.
And he just actually had a lesson with the guy from Ox Burns Red.
Yeah.
Okay.
Matt Greiner, and yeah, it's really to pick somebody else's brain that you look up to and just say,
Exactly.
And,
it's awesome.
He is one of the. I never really watched too many like Terry Bozzio. I never really watched. They are very good drummers. A lot of the solo guys, but I always looked up to the drummers that you get to see how they apply it to a song.
Okay.
And Bozzio does it. They all do. They all groove and stuff like that. But Matt, he was just, we don't play that hard metal.
Yeah.
But just to talk to him, and I saw an interview years ago with him, and the reason why I started to like him, and he was like, I listened to our recordings, and he actually said, like, I was a really bad drummer. So he goes, I locked myself in my house for 3 years and just practiced. And honestly, that's what got me.
Now, was that here at Vic's?
Yeah, it was. Because
I know they do have a lot of clinics and stuff. I've been here a few times. I can't think of his name right now. Who plays drums? It wasn't Chad Smith, but he filled in for Chickenfoot. Kenny Arnoff.
Okay.
Kenny Arnoff.
Okay.
So I sat in on one of his stuff.
They get a lot.
They do a lot of stuff here. Yeah. So and for you as a drummer, you gotta, you should take full advantage of that.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
And it was pretty cool because as soon as Vic knows that I'm more into the band drummers and I pay attention to them more. As soon as he said, we have Matt coming in, and I was #1 on the list. There's the thing that they're doing. It's Band Happy is the actual
that's another cool
company that does it. The lessons where you sign up and stuff like that. And yeah, he just goes. He just go on Band Happy, search Matt, and he'll be here. And
yeah, if you've never been on that, that's another good thing for artists in general.
Happy.
It's called bandhappy.com.
Okay.
It's for drummers, it's singers, guitarists, bass, everybody, and you look up people. It tells you when they're in town and when you could take a lesson with them.
Right.
So it's pretty
cool.
And
is it normally here, or is it?
It's wherever. I've seen one for.
I know Guitar Center probably does something like that too, right?
I think it's pretty much whoever really, not gives them the best deal, but whoever really sets up. Vic is really well prepared, especially for someone like Matt.
Yeah.
But I think it was Miss May. I was just he's another drummer that I'll follow, and he was actually doing it just at the House of Blues. He was giving. I don't know if it was Chicago, but it was one of the House of Blues.
Okay.
Yeah, he before the show, he was just you go on Band Happy, you sign up, and he just whoever it was open, you go before the show.
First come, first serve.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Yeah.
The point is that we like to look up to people that are doing it. You know what I mean? What better advice than somebody who's already been there, done that?
Right.
They've been in your position. They know what you're doing, and that's what we do. We look to them.
Like you said, it's good to pick when you get to meet somebody that you've looked up to,
Right.
it's good to pick their brain.
Right.
I've been thinking about this for a while. I want to see what he says about that. So
What did you do?
That makes a lot of sense.
Right.
Okay, let's talk about your video, Let It Go, or Let You Go.
Let You Go.
Yeah.
That was
what's behind that? Who actually did that? Who produced it? And you know.
We have a really strong support team behind us that help us out whenever we need, luckily. And what we did was they helped us find, we got basically a warehouse. We went to the warehouse and said, hey, it was a steel warehouse. We're like, can we just film in here? And they looked at us like, what? They'd never heard anything like that before. We're like, we're not going to touch anything. We just want to film in here. So we got that and we filmed the whole scene that you see with us jamming. Was really cool. We also got some lighting people. They were all cool about it. They came out from actually a lighting company. They're a DJ for weddings.
Right.
And they said, we're all in. So they came and they just helped us out. They set up like legitimate stage lighting for us and stayed. I mean, we were there till about 4 in the morning.
That's how videos.
Oh yeah, I mean, we thought it'd be like this.
My legs literally were jello.
It was bad. It was bad because I was like, you guys, you have to move. And they're like, we did like 8 times already.
Were you happy with the finished product?
It was good. It was really funny filming. Actually, Laura helped us. She did all the filming. She was with me. We had an actor, Brittany and Ryan, and we went into an apartment that we set up.
Now, where did you find them?
Through actually Columbia. They're actors through Columbia.
Okay.
So we talked to them. They were all for it. We rented out this apartment and we put the whole apartment together. We literally furnished the whole apartment. It looked so nice, which was so terrible because they destroyed the apartment. I mean, the apartment, if you would see it after the video, was terrible. Like there's tons of wine, red wine dripping off the white walls. Everything was broken. We put together like bookshelves and all those were broken in half. But if you watch the video, you see why. Right. So if you haven't, go ahead and see it. It's kind of intriguing.
Okay, so I think we were talking earlier. You were saying you're setting up a gig for January.
Yes.
Do you want to promote that now, or
not yet.
Is it set in stone?
It's secret because we haven't been out yet. I know you guys have been waiting for us to go out. We're sorry. We did a couple shows this year, but they were just to taste. So our real coming out show will be in January, and if you go to our website on www.rubyrise.com, it will be up right away. You can also see it on Facebook, and I'm sure we're going to post it 1,000 times so you will not miss the show. But it will be in January for sure. We're excited to play. You guys don't know what you have in store, but we're excited to show you. So that is cool.
Now, after that, I know winter's coming up, and it's always a long, hard winter in Chicago. Yeah. Do you have springtime, summertime tour plans? I mean, obviously to promote the album. Are you guys going to go out across the country?
We do.
Yes, we are.
We got accepted to the Heart of Texas Festival, and that's in March, so we're going to be playing that in March. We're actually going to be there out that whole week playing different festivals and venues. And then from January on, we will be all over the place. We are going to be in Chicago, but we're going to hit Michigan, Wisconsin, we're working on Oregon. I mean, we're going to...
I would just go south and
we're
go to Florida.
The whole point is that we do it ourselves, and we're out there to meet people. We want the exposure of saying, hey, we're from Chicago, but as much as we love Chicago, we want to know you too, Indiana. Right, we want to know you, Ohio, so.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about, nowadays, and I'm seeing this a lot, locally and nationally, it's female-fronted bands in hard rock and metal. How do you feel about being in that position, as far as being the leader of a band, a hard rock band, and your sexuality and all of that? How does it all tie in? Because it's really, and I don't want to say it's a trend, but it's really popular right now. I see a lot of female-fronted hard rock and metal bands out there. And it's been going on for, say, the past couple of years,
Absolutely.
Lacuna Coil and stuff like that. So give us your thoughts about how do you feel about wearing that crown, so to speak.
I guess, okay, so is there time for that? Here's my thing. There are a lot of female-fronted bands, and I'm very supportive. I support you guys. I support all female-fronted bands. I really do. I'm just very specific, I guess. There's a lot against us right off the bat. A lot of people don't like rock music with girls on it. For whatever reason, there's people that are just biased in general. If they're really hardcore rock and roll or really hardcore metal, they're immediately turned off when they hear a female voice. We got that on our crowd reviews. Hey, you guys are good, but I don't like females on songs. So you get that.
It is changing though, I can tell you that.
Absolutely, it is. But then there comes the other aspect is a lot of women, both in our market and whatever, rely on their looks and their image and their bodies to sell their music. And I think there's definitely glam and sexuality and sensuality in rock and roll, but doesn't have to be scandalous. And I feel like what a lot of the women that are doing that don't understand is they're making it harder for all of us who are actually relying on having strong lyrics, meaningful lyrics that mean something to people, that are looking to just play on stage and be that support, that inspiration for somebody else. It's like, I sing and I want to do something like that. You don't get that because you get people that are looking at you immediately, oh, she's going to be, I don't know if I can say this, but slutting it up on stage. Like, sorry. You can say it. I'm very anti that. I think you can be sensual and sexual without showing everything.
Right.
And, you know, the other thing is you take away from your band. You know, what about the other band members?
Right,
like, they get totally just, oh, they're just the band while the girls are out, like, showing everything. So I guess my point is, like, yes, I'm a female, yes, this is a female-fronted band, but we are a band.
Right.
Not one of us is higher than the other, not one of us is better looking than the other. We all are, like, one image, and that's how we like to stay. I mean, there's bands that have done that. There's bands that I look up to. I love Paramore. Obviously, everybody knows Evanescence. They do a great job of being beautiful women without taking it to that level. So that's what we say.
Oh yeah, Hayley Williams.
Oh gosh.
All right, we're going to kind of wrap it up here, but I always ask kind of a fun question at the end. We'll start on drums. Give me one or two of your favorite drummers, hard rock, metal, alternative, whatever. Give me a couple guys that you just really do it for you.
Brandon Saller of a Trio, I think, is absolutely, he's definitely inspirational. He's not only is he a great drummer, but when your drummer is actually one of the main singers of the band while he's actually doing all this work around the kit, it's just,
that's something special.
Yeah, yeah, you know, and
that takes
it's hard to do.
That takes a special talent.
And especially like you hear over their CDs, like he's not only working on his singing, but you know he's getting better after every season. It's just, these guys are already professionals and they're still taking lessons. You just see that. And then my other one would be Will Hunt of Evanescence. He just joined their band. Like he worked back with them in like 2007, those years, to help complete like their tour and their CD, and then officially joined like on their new CD that just came out. But he's played in almost everything. He's just like one of those drummers that's played in every band. Somebody needs something, he's the type to fill in, and that's
almost like I was talking earlier about Kenny Aronoff. He kind of he's played with, you know, Chickenfoot, which is Satriani, but he's played with John Cougar and
exactly,
like versatile.
Fogerty. Yeah. I mean, he's played with everyone.
No, so. and honestly, that's something to look up. That you're that versatile that you could play that. And I think the one thing that really got me, I think Evanescence was on the Tonight Show, and I just happened to watch it. Will Hunt's a right-handed drummer, and I just happened to just look them up because I missed the show. So I looked him up on YouTube, and he actually turned his kit around to play left-handed for the show. And it was just like,
that's some special talent.
Yeah, it's just like, this guy, and I think he only plays with like a 5-piece kit, and that's all I've ever really seen him on is 5 piece.
Right.
But I wonder if I got too technical where I think I got this right-handed, so let me just try something different. And it was like that's the kind of stuff where these guys are at this level that they're continuing to push and practice, and that's what I.
Well, that's good to know from a drummer.
Yeah.
Bass. Give me a couple of your favorite bassists who you grew up with or who you really, really dig.
So Flea, obviously.
Okay.
He's like, the bass is like a big part of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. It really stands out, and I'm always trying to get my my foot in the door, trying to be the center of the. You know, I like groovy songs. I like a little bit of funk, but you know, I gotta play the part too, support these guys as well. So he's always gonna be, you know, right up there. And also, I really, not so much for the musical talent, but I really like Mark Hoppus from Blink-182.
Okay. You want to elaborate on that?
Sure. I've always, I mean, I grew up with Blink-182. That was like my first band that I was really hardcore about. And you know, like they had the CD, the Mark, Tom, and Travis show, where it was like a full live set, and you can, you know, hear them, you know, interacting on stage, and it just seemed like it was all about like having fun and just keeping it really, just really mellow and chill, and like laughing a lot. And I feel like that's what I bring to the band as well. Like I'm always, you know,
the camaraderie and
just like I want everybody to love everybody.
He really is. He's a fan mediator.
I do. I want it to sound good, and I want it to be fun, and that's really what I strive for.
Okay. Well, those are two great answers.
So
Jenny?
I know I said I do love Evanescence, and I do love Paramore, but that's too cliche. My honest.
It doesn't have to be a female.
My honest favorite singers are Corey Taylor. Corey Taylor, I love. I know people are like, singer. Yes.
He's awesome.
He can actually sing.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He does. I know he did Slipknot for a long time, but if you've listened to some of Slipknot's Snuff, for example, one of my favorite songs, one of his darker, he's a very deep writer. He has a book out. I bought his book. I actually have a sweatshirt. I think it's 7 Deadly Sins. It's a really awesome book. He, I went and saw him play acoustic live actually at Double Door. And it was really cool because he actually said that.
Wasn't he doing like some funky things too, like TV commercials and stuff like that?
He did. Well, he played some covers. He played 9 Inch Nails covered. He played some awesome covers that I love, like Nutshell. He played, which I love. Yeah, I forgot what 9 Inch Nails. He did. He did a great. I forget. But anyways, when he was there, he made a point to say that that was where Slipknot got seen, was actually at Double Door, which was really kind of cool. It kind of gives that place a little history for them.
It's been around for a long time.
Absolutely.
So.
But his voice, acoustically, was beautiful, and he is very emotional, believe it or not. He comes off as this big, hard guy, and when you listen to him, he's like he's got a lot of soul and a lot of just deepness like
to
darkness.
him, man.
Absolutely.
And he's pretty brilliant with some of his lyrics.
Absolutely.
You know, Through Glass is still one of my favorite songs.
I love that song. I know. And they have a lot of songs too. Absolutely. Stone Sour has a lot.
Yeah.
But he also, what was cool about him is I read I love looking at interviews of people I love, and he had an interview where he was talking about how people make fun of him for wearing the masks and Slipknot, and he said, I'm sure all you guys think it's because I'm too scared to show my face on stage. He goes, actually the mask is painful for me to wear, and he goes, that's why I wear it, because what I'm singing is emotional for me, so it brings out the pain, and I thought that was kind of cool. Dark, but cool. Yeah. And of course, my #1 favorite, I love him to death. I don't think I have missed one show. I will play with you one day. It's Jared Leto. I am completely obsessed with his music. I think he is all around awesome artist. He is like the definition of a great rock singer. When he goes on stage, he takes the floor. He's there with his bandmates, but he still jumps in the crowd. He doesn't have to do that anymore. They're way beyond famous enough to not have to do that. He goes way in the middle of the crowd. I saw him at Tinley Park last year. He literally put the lights on the back row in the lawn and called out people by color to have them, like what they were wearing, and had them come out on stage. Like, you in the pink shirt, you come on stage. And then they all got to come on stage. But he purposely didn't pick front row. He went all the way back. You know what I mean? He's very good at that. I love everything about his performance, his lyrics. He stole my heart with The Kill, and then I went back and listened to all his old stuff and all his new stuff, and I fell in love. So the other thing about that band, although I don't love, no offense, their new CD is very electronic. They progress, and that's something that I hope that we do, like that we don't just say this is what we are, and just fall off. Like, I want us to not just have one hit. I want us to have a good song and progress with the times, you know, and if we need to do some kind of like cool song, we make it our own, but we do it with a little dubstep or whatever's popular at that time. But yeah, they progress really well.
Since we're just talking about bands and stuff, one of my favorite vocalists, and I just want to get at you as a vocalist, what are your thoughts on Chris Cornell? Because
love.
For me, I mean, with the early stuff, I mean, he literally, to me, he was like an early Ozzy.
Yeah,
they were
absolutely.
so when he hits those high notes. I mean,
absolutely.
And I know a lot of people. The thing with him is, well, he does a lot of this low stuff. You can't understand some of the stuff, but I mean, I think he's well rounded.
Oh, he is.
As a vocalist.
Him and Billy from him, I love because they're raw. They are very raw.
Right.
And I just actually went to see him. He did that show just recently.
Cadillac Palace?
Yes.
Yes.
He is so raw. Like,
unfortunately, I didn't get to shoot that show, so I'm kind of pissed off about that.
You didn't miss the ending. I wasn't happy about the ending. He didn't play any of his main. He didn't play Black Hole Sun or his main songs.
Right.
He didn't play any of those. But the cool thing is he's raw, and he doesn't care, and I love that about him, because I watched him, I swear it was the most inspirational thing, because I was like, I can do that. I can be you. Like, I can be like that. He goes on stage, and he sings how he sings. And if he cracks a little bit, or he's rusty on his note, nobody booed him.
It takes a lot of balls to go out there and do a full set night after night with just you and an acoustic guitar.
He's emotional. Like, you can tell he's singing something that means something, so even if he's not perfect. And I think that's such an inspiration for all singers, because there's a lot of people that go, you know, I don't have an Amy Lee voice. I'm not an opera singer. I don't have that.
Well, you do what you do, and you do it to your strengths.
Right.
You know, and you stand proud of what you are and what you do.
But if you
just
mean
do the best you
nobody
can.
cares. Nobody cares.
Right.
If you really mean what you're singing, nobody cares, and that's where Chris rocks.
Right.
He sings these like dark. Black Hole Sun is so dark. It's one of my favorite songs ever. And Like a Stone is an awesome. I mean, those are his popular songs.
Yeah.
But then you go in his new CD. I don't know if you heard, but he did the song Scream, which I love.
Okay.
If you haven't heard it, it's great. It's on his Timberland CD that he did. But he's just very emotional. Like, this is how I feel, and I'm gonna sing it. And if you don't like it, oh well. And nobody complains.
Well, come on. He, I mean, he had a title track to a James Bond movie.
Right.
So that's right there. That means you're doing something right.
And he was chosen for that. He brought it up, and he did. He went on tour, or he did a couple shows with Chester with Linkin Park.
Oh, okay.
And he sang "Crawling" with him, which was, if you've never seen it, YouTube
that would be pretty cool.
Very cool.
All right, we're gonna jump to guitars. Give me a couple of your favorites, influences.
Guitar's pretty easy. You know, you got plenty of. You know, it's like you got.
I haven't heard no old guys though.
You got Gilbert. You got Petrucci. You got Vi. You know, you got all the guitar guys.
Right.
You know? So it's like, those are the people to idolize because they are the top of the game. It's like you don't get any better than that. So it's.
And Steve Vai was just here at Mojo's.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, he just played Mojo's.
Cool.
So. Well, that's cool. So you more or less, you like the technical?
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm definitely like more like, you know, like a chord kind of guy, but I love the technical stuff too. I love it. And yeah, so I mean, it's always, you know, like any musician, they want to get good at everything. You know, you don't just want to specialize in one thing.
Right.
You know, it's so.
I'm waiting for him to teach me guitar. He's not done that yet.
So, but I mean, yeah, the technical stuff is just on that next level where you're just like, wow, you know, I want to do that.
Right.
You know, so it's, yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I look up to. I mean, it's.
For me personally, I'm a guitarist, and you know, I like a lot of older stuff too. I mean, there's always I mean, you can't say anything without mentioning like Hendrix or Tony Iommi and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
A little bit. I mean, I always loved Randy Rhoads, what he did, and you know, with his short life. You know what I mean? He had those 2 albums, and you know, some of the work he did on there as a guitarist for me was just great.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you know, being a guitar player, it's kind of hard too. You know, because it's like you have those guys out there that just stand out, you know.
Right.
It's like,
and there's a million of us out there.
Exactly.
As opposed to,
I feel like guitarists are so hard on themselves. I really do. Just in general, I feel like you guys.
Well, look what we have.
But that's what I'm saying.
You know, you got Gilbert. You know,
well, especially as a single guitarist.
But yeah.
You know, you got a lot on your shoulders.
Yeah, but it's also just the fact that you guys are always. I feel like guitarists always like exactly what I just said about singers. Like you don't have that kind of voice. Oh wow, so sing what you got.
Right.
I feel like guitarists are the worst at that. Like you guys are like, I need to be the next Leonard Skinner or whatever. I don't know. Like Axl Rose. I don't know who you need to be like. And you guys like obsessed that you're never good enough. And I feel like that's like, get over it, man.
Well, there's so much to guitar. You know,
exactly.
There's so much to it.
That's exactly.
It's not, you know. there's always going to be someone better than you.
well, that's the thing.
Tenfold.
Of course. That's the thing.
Like recently, I shot Avenged Sevenfold.
Oh my God.
And I'm a guitarist, and I'm like,
oh my God.
you know, I'm just like sitting there in the front row,
Right?
like.
You're just dumbstruck, right?
Cut all my fingers off
Oh,
because I quit.
We seen, me and my brother were actually, when we went to go record with Eric, we saw this 18-year-old kid. Amazing, amazing guitar player. It was just, I was dumbfounded.
Right.
Because just like some guitar players
they have it. They have that God-given talent.
Yeah, it's
you know?
so natural
The
to them.
prodigy children.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Apparently, he started when he was 4, and what was I doing when I was 4?
Yeah, exactly.
Shitting in your pants. All right, well, we're going to wrap it up here. Is there anything you want to say?
Just, honestly, first and foremost, thank you for everybody who stood by us, even though we didn't play 1,000 shows, and you guys knew that, you know, you liked our music, and you stuck with us, and you guys are still commenting and liking us. We love you guys. To everybody who hasn't met us, please meet us. We're real cool. We want to meet you guys, and we hope to see you guys in January.
All right, this is Fly from ChiTownRocks.com with Phosphene. Catch them, their new album in 2014.
Thank you.